Hello, Internet. We're back again with our first video that has nothing to do with solar power. Well, actually, that's not entirely true. Indirectly, it does. Directly, it doesn't. But anyways, the topic is backup generators. So in the past, the topic of backup generators with our camping adventures has come up a few times, and I have always been really reluctant to have one due to the fact that my interest in solar power kind of prevented me from wanting to do that, because I wanted to first see if I could come up with something that would make enough power that we didn't need to have that. Obviously, the advantage to solar power over generator power is that it's completely silent. You don't have to listen to this thing running next to your trailer when you want the TV on, or to make a pot of coffee. And that was basically in the beginning when we first started using AC power in our trailer on some of our boondock type trips and stuff. That was basically what it was. So we had the ability now to not wait forever for percolated coffee to be made. We just had a regular coffee machine. If the weather was crummy out like it is today, we now had the option, providing there was cell service and stuff, to tether our phone up to a Fire Stick that we plugged into the TV. Now we had Netflix and all the good sort of glamping kind of stuff that you normally can't do if you're only hooked up to your 12-volt batteries. So, and for years that was what we did. And the system that I had at the time, and I was looking for pictures of it, and I guess I didn't really take any, but I did find a couple that sort of kind of show it. The first one is a picture of a 250 watt panel straddling the back of the orange truck that we had at the time. And it was the picture that I sent to her brother, who is the guy that I purchased the solar panels from, and for that system. And it was just to show him, like, wow, look at this. Like, the solar panel is exactly as long as the truck is wide. So it was my belief, after getting a measuring tape out and stuff and checking it out, that if I had two of those, that I could actually hinge them in the center and create a tonneau cover that folded up on top of itself out of two solar panels, have 500 watts on hand, and run that through a solar charge controller into 400 amp hour lead acid batteries that we use to run a 2000 watt pure sine wave inverter, and then just had the converter switch on the trailer turned off so that we could just run the whole thing off of an extension cord into the shore power. And now we had the microwave and all of our AC circuits working to charge stuff, like phones and whatever, and all that was working. So that worked really good. At that time, we were sort of going back and forth a little bit with how big of a trailer we wanted, and we sort of changed our mind a couple of times and had a couple of different ones. And that system was sort of born, I guess, from that kind of frequent changeover that we were having when we were buying and selling them, because I didn't want to spend all this time building a really integrated system only to have to pull it all out again and maybe put it onto another one. So I just put it all onto the truck. The truck stayed relatively consistent throughout this process, and then we just plugged whatever trailer we had into it. And that worked. We were pretty happy with that. The subject of the generator kind of went by the wayside for a while, and didn't really come up again until we got this last trailer that we have now, which is a great big trailer. It's like 42 feet long. It has two ACs on it. It's a fifth wheel, actually, which is our first fifth wheel ever. And we got this one because of the fact that we wanted to park it at the permanent spot that we have for it on Kookanusa, and then also maybe graduate into spending the Canadian winters down south and traveling around and spending like a considerable amount of time in it. The campsite that we have in the meantime doesn't have power, and so we are going to have to rely on the solar system that I just recently created for it, that I almost burnt the trailer down with. But that's, if you're curious about what that's all about, there's 7 videos that precede this one showing what all happened there. So check it out if you're interested. Power is coming to the campsite at some point, but at least in the meantime it isn't. So we are going to have to rely on the solar system entirely for a while. So the generator conversation came up again, based on that. And again, I was reluctant to the whole idea because it was like, no, wait, I have to take this old solar system apart anyways, because now that we have a 5th wheel, it's not going to work having the solar panels on the back like that. So I think that I can make something that's even better than before, and it's going to make enough power to run the AC, and there's nothing to worry about. AC was kind of what was driving this latest sort of concern that maybe we needed a generator. So I did accomplish that. The solar system that we put into the trailer is doing that. And furthermore to that, I mean, we've got enough battery capacity that it seems like it'll run at least one of the ACs for quite a while before needing a recharge. But basically, in the end, I volunteered myself to lose the conversation about the generator because I found one on Costco one day that on their website that seemed like it was a pretty good deal they were clearing out. And so I sort of made the decision that I was gonna lose the conversation, and maybe we would just have this just in case once we get out there that there's maybe not as much sun, there is a little bit more shading there than there is here. I don't know. I just felt maybe it was time. My hope still is that we'll never use it, but anyways, it's going to be there. Now, part of the criteria for a generator in my mind was that I wanted it to run on propane, either entirely or at the very least a dual fuel, and I wanted it to be small. So I wanted it to be light, I wanted it to be small. It didn't need to put out a whole bunch of power because I already knew that I had the solar running the air conditioning, and it was doing everything that the trailer could do. And so my only concern was the generator be big enough to recharge the batteries if they started getting behind, and we just needed the extra supplement from the generator just to keep things going. So the idea with the dual fuel is that our truck runs on diesel. I didn't want to carry around a jerry can full of gas just on the off chance that maybe we're going to need to use the generator. So I wanted it to be able to run on propane, but furthermore, I also wanted it to be able to run off of the quick connect on the side of the trailer, which in the area where our outdoor kitchen is, we have like a 2-burner sort of like cook stove thing there that plugs into a quick connect that's just underneath that area. And I wanted it to be able to plug into there, which means having the generator be able to run completely unregulated. When you hook up your barbecue, you've got that big sort of silver thing like that's kind of on the one end of it that regulates the flow of the propane into the barbecue. Well, campers with the 2 big tanks that come with them that run your stove and your oven and your furnace and all that kind of stuff are already regulated. So that quick connect that's under there is already running through a regulator before it even gets to there. So having a second regulator is probably going to make the generator not even run, would be my guess. So I hit the internet, and this actually, I've already put the ends on here, but originally this was 3 separate pieces. I looked all over the place on the internet for something like this that was a propane gas line that had these quick connects on both ends without any kind of a regulator in between. And I don't know if somebody else knows where you buy those, but I couldn't find one anywhere. So what I ended up doing was just buying a piece of gas line propane hose that didn't have any ends on it at all. And then I just went and found 2 of these and made my own. So the generator itself has got a quick connect on it, and then the trailer has got a quick connect as well. So I've just made up, I think this is 12 feet long. There's a little ball valve underneath the trailer to open and close the gas as well. So my thought process with this is that this will be much handier than having to carry around multiple gas cylinders just for the purpose of maybe having to use the generator or not. As it is, we already do carry around one that we use for our barbecue and our Blackstone grill, now that we have one of those. And then also for our like propane fire pit thing that we actually don't use all that often, but I mean, I don't carry around 2 tanks for that. We just sort of disconnect the barbecue one, and if we want to use that, then we use that same one. So 20 pounds now getting divided into all these different things. I mean, I'm going to be refilling it all the time. And so, like I said, I'm hoping that we don't even need to use this generator very much. So just having a nice sort of compact thing like this is going to be a lot handier, I think. So today's video, basically to get to the point, is to take that out of the box and see if we can have a look at it and get it working, and hopefully my plan goes as I had hoped with the non-regulated quick connect hose that I made up. Okay, so and this is the one that we picked. It's a Champion branded one, 2000 watt, 1700 watt running. So relatively, like I said, relatively small, but plenty big enough to run a 20 amp charger if we have to. It actually looks like, and I think this is pretty typical on dual fuel ones, where the gasoline starting watts is in common with the propane. However, the running watts with gas in it is 1700, whereas it's only 1530 on propane. 120 volts, of course. Again, that's going to be more than enough for us. We're just looking to have something that puts out enough power that we can run a 20 amp, 24 volt charger. So I'm just going to take everything out of the box and sort of see what we got. I did sort of have a peek in here yesterday just to kind of measure it to see if it was going to fit in that front compartment where our solar stuff is. And it doesn't look like it's going to quite fit, but I don't know. That's easily solved. We'll just put it somewhere else. But let's pull it out of the box, see what all comes with it. And I have heard that getting these things started on propane is a bit of a pain in the ass. So we'll see how that goes. And I'm also curious on how much noise it makes. I mean, they're claiming that it's ultra quiet. But what exactly does that mean? So here's everything that came out of the box. It actually comes with oil, which is nice. I had read actually that in advance, so I didn't go out and buy any, but I did actually discover that there was quite a few generators that you can buy that actually don't come with them, and you have to go out and make a trip to the store to buy some before you can even begin using it. So that's kind of cool. And then this is the gas connection hose that they give you with this gigantic regulator on the other end. And then this is, I don't know, it's something that fits onto there. I think maybe this is just, sorry, I just realized I wasn't pointing at it. But anyways, I don't know exactly what this is. I think maybe it just bolts onto the back of this, and there's like a kind of like a spring thing in here that must just be for hanging it off of something and supporting it. Has a little funnel, which I'm assuming is to help you put oil in it. And then this is the generator itself, which on this side has nothing more than just the recoil starter. And then on the front, we've got your outlet here, a fuse. I believe these two things here are, you can buy an interconnect and run this in parallel with a second one of these if you want. There's the gas connection for that quick connect on the front. They call this their easy start. I don't know. To me, that suggests that maybe it should also start the thing for you, but it doesn't. It just allows you to prime the thing up and choose gasoline or propane. And then some USB ports on the front as well. So on the other side, we've got, of course, this we're not ever going to use, but it's for putting gas in there. This little cover pops off, and this is the, what I'm assuming is the air filter, and then the filler for the oil. And then on top, oh, it looks like it's just an access to change the plug if you ever need to. So not a whole heck of a lot going on here, really. So I'm just going to close it back up, connect the propane line that I made to it, and give it a go starting it. Okay, so what I've learned about this particular generator is that the propane quick connect on the front is not the same as the quick connects that you typically see for propane fittings. It has this kind of like proprietary thing here, and the way that this is meant to work is there's, I don't know if you can see, there's like a little black thing there. This plastic thing that's sticking out of the end of this is meant to go into that hole, and then does something in behind there to allow this to now sit in there. The quick connects that I ordered for the hose that I have do not work in there. I've already tried. I've also tried pressing this down with a little screwdriver or something to see if that would allow it to go the rest of the way and actually lock into place, and it does not. So that's basically the end of the experiment for today until I can figure out how to adapt this onto the hose that I've got. So this is the regulator end. I still have no idea what this is. I did take the back of it off, and it looks like it just has like some kind of a, I don't even really know how to explain it. It almost looks like a speaker, kind of. It's got a rubber gasket that goes around it, and it kind of looks like it inflates in and out. I don't know if this has got anything to do with gas regulation. I know that definitely this piece does. So I'm thinking hopefully what will maybe work is if I can get an adapter that converts this thread pitch and size to the size of the other end of the hose that I was hoping was going to do all this, that maybe these two pieces together will do the job. I don't really know. What I do know is that I just had a quick look on Amazon to see if I could find a quick connect that looks like this. And it doesn't seem to me like there's one out there that exists. I couldn't find one anyways. So even if I could just find like the metal part of this, I mean, I'd be okay with, you know, having to push that little plastic thing down each time we wanted to use it if it came down to that. But I can't, like I said, I can't even find one. So that's not an option at this point either. So for today, I'm stuck. I can't do anything further. I mean, I suppose we could start it up just off of a regular propane bottle just to see how it goes. But first, I'm going to see if I can find a way of adapting this mess to what I have so that we can continue with the plan, which is to run it off of the trailer quick connect and not off of this extra propane bottle that we have to haul around all the time. So we'll see. I don't know. The next frame after this one is either going to be me plugging it into a regular propane cylinder, or me adapting this onto something else to try and continue with the original plan. Okay, so I just ran to the hardware store and I was able to find a brass fitting to adapt the two different sizes to each other here. So now I'm just hoping that whatever this thing's purpose is that it doesn't mess up the gas flow to the generator. So I'm just going to hook it all up and see if we can get the thing to fire up now. So it actually wasn't too bad to start at all. And actually I would say it's not very loud either. So I'm just going to let this run for a minute, and I'm going to go ahead and grab the extension cord and plug the charger into this and see how it handles that. Okay, so there's the other end into the generator 110 input that I created when we did the solar. The charger is operating, and it says on here that we are getting a 20 amp charge right now out of that generator. The generator itself didn't even seem to bog it down at all. Like, the idle on it seems like it's exactly where it was when I started it up without anything connected to it. So it seems like it's more than enough for what we're going to use it for with regards to the trailer anyways. Maybe we'll end up using it for other things too, but that's a wrap for this one, I'd say. Just as per usual, nothing that I do ever goes exactly according to plan, but luckily the hardware store had a piece that was able to adapt the two. And also, whatever that giant thing is, I don't know what it is, maybe somebody out there does. It doesn't seem to affect the generator's ability to run, even though the propane coming out of that quick connect is already regulated. Everything seems to be running just fine. So that's how you do it with a Champion one anyways. And I'm pretty pleased with the results of this, and that's just another thing off of our list.